This right here will be how crazy a deep dive can get. It gets pretty crazy. We got this. We got this, which is upside down, okay? We got this, okay? This is what I mean by deep dives are pretty crazy, dude. They're really, 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 really crazy. We always got to pay attention to this even too. But so right there, okay? So right there. But like, here's another thing, okay? I'm trying to show you how creepy this really can get. This can get pretty creepy. Just depends on how smart you are, you know? There's our shoulder pad, right? There's our shoulder pad. So we got a shoulder. So basically we got a shoulder on the ground, right? But this game, man. This game. Oh, shoot, dude. Shoot. There's a lot of stories, too. They all have their own stories and crazy stuff behind them. Where's the... By the way, this right here, oh my gosh, that's why I just keep talking about it, dude. I'm just like... I'm like, oh, that stuff, man. That's just crazy. No, watch this. What it does is it makes you think. It makes you productively think. Which is what a stupid news lady would never know. She would never know how to actually, use her brain. Because if she did, she'd shut up. You know what I'm saying? She'd shut up. She wouldn't say anything. And I'll tell you what I mean by this. You could take something as simple as this right here, right? See this 1, 2 right here? Now, there's been vertical, there's been diagonal. This is vertical going to horizontal, right? So we take a 1, 2, vertical, horizontal, and now we're going to cut this off. This is so crazy, guys. This is, we've got a Yu-Gi-Oh card that is coming out. There will be a Yu-Gi-Oh card coming out, and it will be for an archetype, ritual beast, right? So we got that coming on the way. But here's the thing I like to talk about when I look at this. Okay, so you look at this, and you're like, wait a minute, there's another part? How is that even? That's what's creepy about it. How is that even possible? Where's the other part, right? Even right here, when we look at this, has to be right there, that stuff. So there's always kinds of thoughts, right? But, sometimes I actually... experiences in life. If you're lucky to have an experience like this in life, then we got this. We even got a pin, which is crazy. If we could only get her name, right? If we could only get her name. But the thing that's kind of funny too about it is that I've had the privilege of being with a skinny female. See what I'm saying? We're not just talking about video games, people. We're talking about some other stuff, right? We're talking about some crazy stuff. Yes. Very crazy things. Very, I think piecing stuff together is probably like the hardest part to do. Sometimes it's really hard if you want to go to like that next spot, because going to the next spot, you're just like, oh, okay, now we're just getting crazy in here, right? That's when we're getting crazy. The shape of this is crazy right here, the shape of here, because not only do we have like a vagina up above, there is a female that has a certain vagina. There could be some crazy tales with that. Look, this right here, this part though, look. So look, I 16 6-bit, you know what I'm saying? I 16 6-bitted an eye, right? So I took an eye and I changed it, and then I changed it again, and I changed it again, so I could do that, right? So that's what I could do, right? Also kind of makes sense that we have this up here. Now, why do we talk about all that? That's a lot of content. So why do we talk about all that? Well, if you add that up all together, and then you start to like look at this, because normally you would look at this, you'd probably be like mu leg, you'd look at it at like legs, right? But if you add this all up, so you add this up, they're not going to really try and show you something that's crazy. You know, that's not the point. The point is not to really show you something that's like smart, you know. The point is that they show you this, so you start looking at stuff like this. Okay, so now you're looking at this. By the way, if you do your ink, you can definitely get this face. But you have to do your ink in the game. And trying to... But it's not even like just the characters themselves either. I know what they're talking about here. What they're talking about here is they're talking about the good old 1, 2, 3. Now, man, 6 minutes in, right? 6 minutes in, this project too. I'm going to tell you something about this project. And oh boy, just oh boy, with this foot even being like a possibility of what this is, right? But the thought process behind all of this, because sometimes you have to like look a little bit further, which is really hard to do. But if you can look further, you can look further, right? That's why we're going to be talking about vertical for probably all eternity. All eternity, we will be talking about vertical. We will have our moments when we're just talking about... Because vertical is underwater in the Splatoon maps. Yes, it is. Nintendo Switch is stupid feature to turn off and turn on its menu. But anyway, at this point, I want to tell you something. If you ever thought to yourself, okay, and you're like looking at a video game, right? Or you're looking at parts of a video game, right? I'm always looking at this part too. That's why I was showing it in my last video. Is that video games are doing stuff, dude. That's why we're showing this too, even up here. But video games are basically, they are showing stuff that they're showing you actual stuff that will happen in your life. Either will happen in your life. I don't know why it will happen in your life, but like people that you get with, people you talk to, people you date. That is what video games are talking about. Video games are talking about so many crazy things. And I can't believe like the spots of it. The spots of it is that I remember I was like, okay, there's other things to do besides video games, right? So there's other things to do besides video games. There's a ton of things to do, right? But I had a moment and I was like, the video game, I think there was something constructively different. This is the first time I witnessed a video game secret. And it was just something constructively different. I thought to myself, okay, and I thought, and then I thought again, and then I thought again. And it was, I think it started out kind of like as a competition with myself, like a competition. First of all, the competitive nature to see how much smarter I could get. Because the smarter I get, the better I get at Yu-Gi-Oh!, the better I get at exercises, all that kinds of stuff. So that's what drove me to be like, okay, well, let's try and play Mario 64. Because I was playing a lot of Zelda Ocarina of Time, just a ton of Zelda Ocarina of Time. But Master Quest. But to go back to Mario 64, what was going to get me to go back to Mario 64. That was a crazy moment in itself. I saw it as like they released a product too fast. And sometimes when you put a product out really fast, like because the 64 came out quick, and then later you'd have the PS2, the Xbox, and the GameCube. You'd have all those systems come out, pretty quickly. But then I was like, so that's not right about that. That's just like way too quick. The time frame that they did it was insanely fast, dude. The time frame, you got to play your 64 and PlayStation 1 for quite a while and Dreamcast, but as soon as the PS1 came out, they were already like saying, let's bring out the PS2. And I notice when people are smart and when people are dumb. That's one of my features of me, is that if everybody's like hyping up the PS2, that's a moment. That's just like a simple moment where I'm like, the chest has always been looked at as you always cut the chest because there's a smiley face there. So the whole idea behind video game secrets is that there's two sequence videos, okay? And the sequence videos are me talking about actual products that you purchase. You know what I'm saying? Like actual food you buy, whatever you choose to buy. So basically, when you got to go and eat your food, that's what I'm trying to talk to you about. I'm trying to talk to you about that there's like certain things that I'm thinking about versus just like, the normal things. And it made sense to me with Best Buy is an experience. If you go to enough Best Buys, you can get experiences from going to Best Buy. But if you go to locations, right, and then you observe locations, you'd be surprised half the times. If you can study locations, you can set up a meeting. So if you need to set up a meeting, you can set up a meeting, right? So there's times where you're like, well, I got to go set up a meeting. I got to go do this. I got to go do that. I have to, try and find some way to make cash, all that. But the only way that you're going to actually study an element of setting up a business meeting is that you're going to have to work the crap out of your brain. And then when you work your crap out of your brain, then you actually get to the people in the papers. And the people in the papers, they're the one that can set you with a room and set up a business meeting room. So, and then remember, now think about how that goes. You got giant events that are set up, right? So every, once in a while, you'll have like a big event that's set up. This event's set up. This event's set up. But it just destroys the person to know that, it clobbers them in the head to know that a person that you don't think would be successful, when you underestimate a person, right? They can easily be a tyrant. They can be a tyrant like that. When I don't mean tyrant like conspiracy, I mean they can be like a king. You know what I'm saying? They can be a ruler. You can be a ruler really quickly. It just depends on how you're going to be a ruler. But you can find a function, you can find an adept, you can find a skill on your resume. You see like a skill that you're going to put on your resume or whatever that is. You can find all that easily. So there is a demand. There's a demand. Even when you go to like small local, if you're looking at the bigger picture, people look at the bigger picture way too many times. I do see a common theme of, like people looking at another big picture, another big picture, another big picture. But one of the things I do see, this is when my brain starts clicking too, is like I see like that the small events, the events that you would consider to be a tiny event or a small event, is not even close to a small event. Not even close to a small event. Not even close. Uh, you literally have humans, okay? You have humans that play Jack and Daxter. I'm going to try and tell you this way. You have humans that play Jack and Daxter. And these are not, like, it doesn't matter what I say out of my mouth. They're going to play Jack and Daxter, right? So they're going to go and play Jack and Daxter. I'm going to try and tell you something. But they're going to play this Jack and Daxter game, okay? Now, Jack and Daxter is kind of what you would consider to be in like a tiny medium, right? So it's a medium that would be tiny. But get ready for this. Get ready for this. A long time ago, when people were just looking for entertainment or looking for, likable people, people that they could like or why they like this person, they would like listen to a YouTuber named Leafy. And they would go and they'd listen to Leafy. And then there's all the stuff that happened with Leafy, right? But guess what? Leafy was, willing to play Crash Bandicoot Racing. See what I'm saying? Was willing to play. So a tiny medium, that little tiny medium that you think of, right? It's surprising how close somebody very powerful can be to you, just through a tiny little thing, just a tiny little event, whatever the event be. And that's where the paranoia comes in. If you want the honest truth, Joshua hopes I get stupid. See what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you straight up. Joshua Smith, he hopes I get stupid. Because if I get stupid, if I end up getting stupid, I don't, top a Yu-Gi-Oh event. See, that's the whole principle of people. People have a whole entire peer pressure that's coming their way, They don't even know how to handle it sometimes. Sometimes you're trying to figure it out, right? And you're sitting there and you're trying to figure it out. And it's like a predestined thing. That's another thing. It's a predestined thing. So if you go to like a tournament, right? Or if you go to like an event or you go to something and you've came with a plan, you've came with an idea, you organized an idea and you came up with a little idea, you're going to know that person or what kind of possible person is going to be at that event. You're also going to like look at past events just to see, right? You're going to look at past events to see how that tournament panned out. Because sometimes the tournaments, that's the funniest thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Big tournaments, is the deck that you don't think is going to win actually ends up winning. And the way it does it, because you do get blunders like that. That's how Madolce happens. That's how you have like these random, you have a bunch of random things that happen. That's how you have the Ritual Beast. If you were to go deep into it, you have to go deep into it. But if you were to look at the Ritual Beast player playing in a newer format, not the older format, a newer format, and still finding a way to the top, right? So when they go to like the little event or the tournament, this is what I'm trying to tell you. When popular people go or like famous people that are around or popular people that go, they look at every little function, because what they look at is they look at the function because they know that the minute that they underestimate that person, that's the person that tops, and then they go home, they've wasted their entry fee. So they wasted their entry fee, and that one guy is going home with the trophy that they wanted to get. They wanted that trophy really bad, but they're going with that trophy. And it's all just a matter of studying.